Naoya, stop ducking me. One fight, Uzbek power coming. Let's go, champ.
Hello, this is Jimmy Akio, and I'm here in my arcade room. You can see my Hall of Fame wall behind me. I also have another video with my Hall of Fame wall in my videos. Check that out if you get a chance. Anyways, I'm here to discuss the upcoming fight on September 14th in Japan. Inoue will be the monster. Naoya Inoue will be making his 5th defense of his unified title against former champion murodjon akhmadaliev. I'm going to just say Akhmadaliev from now on, like I said, because I can't pronounce that first name. Sorry about that. Let's talk about Inoue first. Inoue is a 4-division world champion. He has 25 world title fights. That's more fights than Akhmadaliev has fights. His world title fights is more than he has fights. Anyways, not saying anything bad against Akhmadaliev. He has a lot of amateur fights as well, but we'll get into that. Back to Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue is an actual superstar of boxing, not just Japan, but boxing. He's a fantastic, amazing fighter. People are just starting to know about this guy, but he's been around for a long time. He had an amateur record of 75-6 with 48 knockouts, and then turned pro, and like his 6th pro fight, he won like a world title. But regardless of anything, the guy is just amazing. He blew through these 4 divisions like it was amazing how he blew through these divisions. So, and just blowing the competition away. It was just crazy. Now he's starting to have a little bit of a, more competition for him now, and he's against big punchers now, and guys can take his punch a little bit better. Even though I do think that, which I can't understand how these other commentators, boxing commentators, can't understand how, and they don't say how Naoya, he doesn't pull his punches, but he'll throw arm punches. Like, the 4 punches he knocked down Cardenas those are not heavy, big power punches. He'll do that just so he can hit you, just to touch you. And then he'll set you up for you thinking, oh, this guy can't hit hard, and then he'll crack you with one of his hard shots. The guy's a very clever guy. Naoya is probably one of the most clever guys that I've seen in boxing. And he has a plan, he has a backup plan, he has a backup plan after the backup plan. The guy can punch, he can box, he has great footwork. He does have great defense, even though I think that when you're in that kind of success that he's had, where he's just blowing through his opposition, I think he gets careless sometimes. He paid for it twice already with Neri, who is a big power puncher. Neri is a huge power puncher. And Cardenas, pardon me, Cardenas is a huge puncher, and he fights 130 pounders. So he's fight bigger guys, and he's been bombing those guys. So let me tell you, in a way, even though he took a couple shots, he showed his recuperable, or he recoups really well. He comes back really good, and he recovers extremely well. Probably better than I've ever seen anybody recover from a knockdown, especially a hard knockdown like the one he took his last fight against Cardenas, a very strong puncher like Cardenas, who was very motivated. I'm sorry, my camera stand broke, so I'm using something else to do it. So I've been having problems with my stand. So sorry about that again. Now let's talk about Inoue again. Now Inoue has 25 world title fights, and he's the first ever Japanese Asian boxer to hold the undisputed championship in the 4-belt division era. Okay. His last fight was the 8th round knockout of Ramon Cardenas. A very good fight, very competitive fight, but I still had Inoue winning almost every round except for the round he got knocked down in. I did give him another round in the fight as well. So I gave basically 2 rounds to Cardenas, but that was it. And the judges' scorecards, it was they had Inoue basically winning every round except for the 2nd round. So it's that's how that is. And with the win, he set another new record with 23 KO victories in title fights, surpassing the great heavyweight Joe Louis, who had 22. So it's going to be a fantastic fight. Anyways, just amazing fighter. I love watching this guy. I get up early in the morning. My dad, who is Japanese, and I'm Japanese, but my dad gets up early in the morning. My dad's 94 years old, and he wants to get up to watch Inoue. He just loves Inoue. And even when we went down to Japan to go meet Inoue at the Ohashi gym, and unfortunately we didn't get to see Inoue. We got to see the WBO bantamweight champion, Japan's WBO bantamweight champion. Very nice guy. Got to meet Mr. Ohashi himself and one of the trainers at the gym. Very nice guys. At the end of the video, I'll show you those pictures. It was a fantastic gym. And it's one of the gyms I've never seen before, because in the gym you have different layers. One floor, they have a boxing gym. I thought that was it. But after we hung out and I got to meet Ohashi, show him that I was a fighter once too before, and he was like, "Oh wow, you used to box." And then he showed it to some of the other guys there, the WBO bantamweight champion, the other guy, and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. You're a fighter too. You were once a fighter." And very nice guy, really good guys. Well, all those guys that I met, and I got pictures of those three guys, and I'll show you at the end of the video. But then later on, me and my dad were looking around, and we said, "This is." I mean, even though it's a big, huge room, and they have a good, nice dressing room and all that, we thought, wow, that's it. Then next thing you know, we got into the next floor, same exact gym, just on the other floor. Then you go up to another gym, there's another same thing on the floor. You got floors and floors of fights and people training at these gyms. So I don't know if that's one for contenders, one for I don't know how that deal is. So I really couldn't explain to you that one, but that was incredible to see that, and I got to see the Ohashi gym, which was really cool. And in Yokohama, so that was really cool. Anyways, getting back to Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue is married to his high school sweetheart, and he has 3 children. And his dad was a former amateur fighter, and his 2 brothers are fighters, professional boxers. So that's Naoya Inoue. And let's get back to, I don't want to say it then because I mess it up, Murodjon Akhmadaliev, I believe. Okay, Akhmadaliev, I got to just say that. He's a former unified champion, having the WBA and IBF titles between 2020 2023. He won a controversial split decision to become Uzbekistan's first world champion against, what's this guy's name? Ramon. Let me see. His name is Daniel Ramon. And that was a very controversial decision because 115-113. And all the scorecards were 150-113, but one had it for Ramon. So good for Akhmadaliev. Now on April 8th, Akhmadaliev lost his world titles to Marlon Tapales in a split decision. The two judges' scorecards had a 115-113 Tapales, and the other judge had it for Akhmadaliev, 118-110, which I don't understand that one. That was a huge disparity. I had it 116-113 for Tapales. Now, let me tell you something. Tapales won the earlier rounds, and later on, I do admit Akhmadaliev was coming on stronger in the later rounds. But I still think he was very competitive in that fight. So, all throughout the fight, Tapales was very competitive. So, I think was a fantastic fight, and I believe Tapales won that fight. He says Akhmadaliev keeps saying he was robbed. He was not robbed. You lost that fight, period. Now, Akhmadaliev has an amazing amateur record of 300 wins, 20 losses with 80 knockouts. But as a former amateur boxer and professional boxer, I tell you, amateurs and professional is as different as night and day. Okay, the way they score it, everything is much different in there. So even though both Inoue and Akhmadaliev both have huge amateur backgrounds, let me tell you that it is much different. Amateurs and pros are a hell of a lot different. And so anyways, that's part of that right there. Okay, and let me say right now, Akhmadaliev also was a 216 Olympic bronze medalist. Now, Akhmadaliev has a professional record of 13 wins, 1 defeat, and 10 knockouts. Since his loss to Tapales, he has had 2 fights. 8th round knockout to Kevin Gonzalez and a 3rd round knockout to Ricardo Espinoza Franco. He is planning to fight again May 30th to get some work in before the big fight. Wow. After Tapales, which is after he beat Akhmadaliev, a few months later, Inoue fought Topali's and down. And basically, even though there's some rounds that were competitive, there's no doubt that Inoue was in charge. So Inoue was just overwhelming him, and at the end, knocking out Topali. Topali was like, he just said that he had nothing left. He couldn't do anything. He was done, and he gave it everything he had. Even Manny Pacquiao was commending by giving everything he had for that fight. He was commending him on giving such a hard fight, but a good fight to Inoue. But anyway, like I said, I had no doubt that Inoue was going to win that fight. He dropped him in the 4th round and finished him off, I believe, in the 10th round. And he was just too much. And he was really, Inoue was really bombing on him. Even though Topali's was trying to, Inoue never looked hurt. And Inoue's got a great chin. Regardless, a lot of questions are because Inoue's been knocked down 2 of his last 3 fights, that he's ripe for the taking. I don't think so. Neary, like I said, is a power puncher. He's known for the power puncher, 36-2, 28 knockouts. You know what I mean? So, Neary is a huge puncher. So let's not forget that. Let's also remember that, like I said before, that Inoue is in such a high right now where he's just blowing past most of these guys, that sometimes he does get careless. And I do believe he does after he throws his punches, has to keep his hands up. I do believe that. He's only human too, but he's an exceptional fighter. Exceptional. Like a generational fighter. Like Chris Algieri always says, he's an exceptional fighter and someone that's beyond the regular level. He's above that. There's good and then there's great. I think Inoue is a little bit above that. Okay. Now, also, he had no trouble taking out the WBO's number 10 rated contender Yi Jun Kim because of somebody pulling out for that fight. So he knocked him out in 4 rounds, no problem. And then fighting Ramon Cardenas instead of Alan Picasso or Mero, who he was supposed to fight because he pulled out in late February. Ramon Cardenas is the number 1 ranked WBA contender, and I can see why. Only the hardcore boxing fans and fighters that watch him on the Boxing Hub show knew how amazing Cardenas really was. And he's a good fighter, big puncher, good skills, and he had a motivation. His trainer just passed away, and he wanted to give that title to the trainer that took him up from the beginning. And that's a very emotional thing, and it can really pump you up. And similar thing came up to Buster Douglas when he fought Mike Tyson. His mother passed away, and he wanted to win that title for the mom. So he had that extra motivation for that. That thing was so fresh in your mind that it just builds you up even better. And I think that's what happened also with Cardenas. It made him even more into it, even though it's his first title fight. But I really believe he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a very good fighter. But let's also remember that I think Inoue won every single round except for the 2nd round and 1 other round I gave to Cardenas. So, like I said there, I think that's a good note to understand that. Inoue finished off Cardenas in, I think, the 8th round after throwing like 14 unanswered punches, and they stopped the fight. Okay, let me see now. We're going for Inoue, to me, is an extremely active fighter, as we know that. Akhmadaliev has only had 2 fights in 2023. One of them was losing to Topali's. Okay. He's had 1 fight in 2024. That's why I think he's trying to fight again. He needs to be more active. He's kind of rusty, even though he looked good against those other fighters that he just fought. But those fighters, they're good. They're good fighters. I don't think they're a huge challenge. I think they're good fighters, though. Don't get me wrong. But for a world class, I think Inoue would have put those guys away pretty good too as well. Okay, now I want to say this. I got paper on this one because I have to be precise on this. So let me grab the paper I have so I can tell you about this one. Okay, I got these 2 papers here. I want to tell you, Inoue right now has the highest round winning rate in boxing, of all the boxing. Okay? What's it? Okay? In his career, he's lost 14, meaning he wins 90% of the rounds that he fights. Okay? So that's amazing. Okay, also, Crawford's rate, Terrence Crawford's rate is 84%. He's lost 29 out of 180 rounds. So he's the next one up, the highest, Usyk, the heavyweight, his rate is 74%, which is 39%, 39 rounds lost out of 180 rounds. And Canelo is next at 75%, which is 88 rounds lost out of 356. So my pick is Naoya decision by either knockout or decision. I'm 90% sure he's going to win this fight with Akhmadaliev, even though I'm not trying to disrespect Akhmadaliev, who's a good fighter. Great amateur record. Good pro record. Not that many fights, only 14 fights. Anybody with a beating heart has a chance in a fight. And he's a good fighter. But I don't see that. My pick is for Inoue. By knockout or decision, he's going to overwhelm him. I wouldn't even be doubted if he knocked him out early, like he did, they called the Baby Pacquiao guy, where he knocked him out in the second round in the Bantamweight Super Series with that straight right hand, knocked him out clean with a one-punch knockout. Inoue does have that, regardless if some people say now people are starting to take his punches. Like I said, Inoue, which like other commentators I can't believe don't respond to that, is Inoue throws a lot of arm punches. He just wants to hit you. He wants to touch you. That's why his percentage is high. If he sees you and he can get you, and instead of loading up on you where you might be able to see it and duck out of the way, he will do it straight just to get you, just to touch you. And then he'll set you up and he goes, this guy doesn't hit hard. Then all of a sudden, boom, you're not ready for it. You're more lackadaisical. You're more carefree. And that's when he gets you. And Inoue punches hard. He's got a good punch. He's got a 90% knockout ratio, 30-0. 27 knockouts, 23 big wins, and his 25 title fights. That's amazing. He's got 11 straight knockouts. Absolutely incredible. 25 straight title fights. Inoue is just a special person, and that's why I don't see him losing this fight at all. Inoue is also very good with southpaws. He's fought a lot of southpaws. He's not going to be anything different. I think also Akhmadaliev, he wings some of his punches. He'll do a lot of, he wings a lot of punches I've seen. A lot of times when people are throwing punches, he wants to counter you too. So he can easily get outworked. Like he got outworked with Top Polys in the early rounds. He got outworked. Even though he did come on later in the later rounds. Doesn't matter. Top Polys is still competitive. Okay. Now, I think he, like I said, Inoue is crafty. So I don't think... He sees the openings with the power shots, he'll take them. He's a very clever guy. I think he will outwork Akhmadaliev or overwhelm him and decision him or overwhelm him and knock him out. Akhmadaliev, never seen a guy like Inoue before. And also, I've been seeing that Akhmadaliev, as you see in the video in the beginning, talking a lot of trash. Inoue's not a big trash talker. He does all his talking in the ring. And I think he's very proven that he can do everything he says he was, because he says he's number one in the world. He says he believes he's the number one boxer in the world, and I think he is too. Okay, going back now. Akhmadaliev now has been talking a lot of trash, and Inoue's not really keen to that, but people that have talked trash to Inoue makes him just more motivated. So it's a very dangerous thing that Akhmadaliev is trying to do. I don't know if he thinks he's going to get him out of his game plan, but Inoue is a total professional, complete professional when it comes to that. Inoue will take it in heart, just like when Emmanuel Rodriguez, his trainer, pushed his dad Shingo. He was very upset with that, and he came back and he wanted to get Emmanuel Rodriguez, and I think Rodriguez was undefeated, world champion, and Inoue just destroyed him. I mean, destroyed him. I think he would have done the same to Sam Goodman in a way, but he even brought Sam Goodman down to fight him. Brought him in the ring, and they were talking, and Sam Goodman was talking all this trash, like, oh, you don't want to fight me, ducking me, release the release your title, so I'll pick it up. And I'm just like, who are you? He's got only 19 fights. He only has 9 knockouts. He has no punching power. And to think if you can't hurt Inoue, there's no way you're going to get any respect for Inoue. Inoue would have destroyed Goodman. Goodman was a straight up European type fighter, even though he's from Australia, but he stands up straight. He's not a guy that bobs and weaves and gets low. He's a guy that stays straight up. Inoue would have his pinpoint punching would have destroyed Goodman. Anyways, when he was going to fight Goodman, they brought him in the ring, and then they're setting up to fight him. And Goodman chose to fight somebody else. That's why Inoue fought another guy. And then they tried to fight him again, and Goodman actually was going to fight this time, even though the last time he changed his thing. Instead of fighting Inoue right away, he fought somebody else. Anyways, he got cut, and that's what stopped the fight, and Inoue had to get a replacement. And then they tried to get him, or it might have been the second time that, no, he got cut, so they put back the fight. Goodman got cut again, and then that's 3 times already. And anyway, just said he got another person, and that's who he fought. I think it was the Asian guy, the Korean guy. I think so. Anyways, so anybody that talks crap to Inoue, I don't think it's a good idea, because Inoue will do it the professional way. He'll remember it, and he'll want to get you back for it. That's why, like, when Inoue gets knocked down, he's actually more dangerous than ever, because he's like a lion, man. You heard him, man. He's going to come at you. And Inoue is a kind of strong guy who wants to come get you. And if you hurt him or hit him, he wants to get you back worse. He's a very revengeful guy, a very thinking man's fighter, very big power, unmatched will to win, and also a very strong conditioning, extremely good conditioning. He can continue to fight, continue to throw punches, and like I said, I don't think that Akhmadaliev has got a chance with this guy. I really don't. I think he's got like maybe 10% chance. I don't think that he's got a shot with that. Especially all the crap that I heard. He's been talking to Inoue about telling he should be like a samurai and fight and stop ducking him. And Inoue doesn't duck anybody. He's looking for the guy that can make him the most money and fights that will matter to his legacy. And that's what he's trying to do. He's got Akhmadaliev in his sights. He wants to go up one more division again, which is pretty crazy, because he's fighting guys with big punches, and even though he's still knocking these guys out, it's taking a little bit more time to get to them, but he still can get to them. I think he can move up to another weight class, but I think that would be more competitive for him. But he's basically dominating these guys anyways. Like I said, Cardenas was a good fighter, very good fighter. And a lot of people are predicting he'll be world champion. Chris Algieri said, you're going to be a world champion, man. And then 2 fights later, he fights Inoue. But then again, he only won 2 rounds in my book in that fight. And he got knocked out in the 8th round. So, and as the rounds were going down, he was getting worn down. You could see Cardenas just like slowly slipping away. I think they would have kept the fight going like some people wanted to. They said it was a quick stoppage. I don't think so. I think even his trainer said that he was going to stop the fight. He's slowing down. He would have slowed down to a point where he would have got really hurt. And Inoue was throwing some heavy punches. And I think he would have been very hurt. It was good for him. Now he can come back and, and fight another day and not be really blown out like he would have been if he would have kept that fight going. Now, anyways, Akhmadaliev, like I said, is talking a lot of crap. He said, be a warrior. You won't be a warrior if you don't fight me, and started saying all these things about Japanese culture, which I don't think he knows anything about compared to what Inoue does. Inoue takes that thing to heart, and to say something like that to a Japanese guy is a very serious thing to say, and very insulting. I don't think Inoue is going to like that. I think he will put it back onto him, and he will train extra hard. I think he'll be ready for this fight, and I think he will take him. I think he's going to put a beating on him. I really do. I think Akhmadaliev is a good fighter, though. He'll give him a little bit of trouble here and there, but I think he's going to get overwhelmed like most of the fighters that fight Inoue. Inoue has a plan and a goal, and he's ready, and he's motivated. And I think he'll do it. I remember one time in my when I was fighting in El Paso, Texas. And I was a training camp under Orlando Gonzalez. I was a sparring partner for Paul Gonzalez. I became his main sparring partner because the main guy that was supposed to be a sparring partner got cut in training, and then I became the main guy sparring Orlando all throughout the fight. I was like 120, 24, 26 pounds at the time. I was 126. I could have made 126 at the time, and Orlando was coming into training camp at 124. Anyways, so we're fighting, and there's a Japanese guy who came down from Japan. He was the boxing commissioner of Japan's son. He is a professional boxer, and I remember his dad said, "You want to box?" He goes, "Yeah, I want to box, Dad. You have to run for 1 year. If you miss one day, you have to start over again 1 year." So he actually became a fighter, and he was very disciplined. I remember about how he, Jesse Reed's son, my trainer, manager at the time, his son was always talking about Karate Kid 2 and all this stuff. And then Ruji Yamagata, that's his name, Ruji Yamagata. He's got back, he said, not Japan. He got so upset with that movie because he said that's not Japan. So believe me, the Japanese don't like things that are misleading about their culture and who they are as people. They do not like that. I remember him doing that. And Ruji did not like Karate Kid. He said, "That's not Japan. That's not Japan. We don't do that. We don't act like that." So it's a very big thing to them. So anyways, enough of that one. My prediction is Naoya Inoue will win this fight, either by knockout or by decision. I don't see it happening any other way. Thank you guys so much for this video, for watching my video. Please like, subscribe, and share. And take a look at my Hall of Fame pictures. You'll like them. It's pretty cool. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. I got to punch you.